Hello everyone, Jorge Huertas once again with all of you. Today I'm gonna show you the phase 3 of the design thinking methodology, which is IDEATE. This video is also available in Spanish. Well, this is a stage of creation and imagination. As I told you before, this is the stage 3 of the design thinking methodology. It aims to generate multiple alternatives to solve or work with the project proposal or business model that is being developed. After you understand the problem that you are working with and define the variables and components, we proceed to devise multiple variables to solve or improve the problem or situation addressed in the process. This phase aims to devise and create various alternatives to the problem that is being worked on. It's very important that before you watch this video, you also watch what is design thinking, the phase 1 of the design thinking methodology, which is empathy, and the phase 2, which is define, because those are the previous videos, so you know all the process until this point. Okay, the tools that we use in this stage are many, but the main ones are value proposition, user profile, mood board. But we got more than 20 tools that allow you to create and think about different situations to solve or improve the development that you are doing. Okay, so the stage 3, as I told you, it's focused on creation and imagination. Remember that in the first stage of the process, in the empathy stage, you understand what is the problem and why it's happening and how it's happening. In the second stage, you focus and you choose the main components and define where and how are you going to work with. Now you start thinking. And how do you do that? You create different alternatives. You imagine solutions and you ideate components. So how, as a person that is working with this, how we can make products, how can we make services that fix or improve the situation that we are working with. It's very important to think. And think is very difficult. That's why this methodology is called design thinking, because really you have to think, and you have to think focus on needs and improvements. So there are many tools for this stage, but value proposition was the first video that we made in this channel in Spanish and in English. And it's because this tool is so important. If you are going to develop something, always have to have a value proposition. So if you don't know how to create that, please watch the video. It's very important. User profile, it's a tool that allows you to know the characteristics of your user, that allow you to create something that this person is gonna use and it's gonna to interact because it represents their characteristics. And mood board, it's a very interesting tool that comes from the design process of clothes and fashion design, and is focused to show visually all this information. But there are many tools that allow you to create and become with a propose that help the people in the need with the development that you are doing. Always remember, it is really important to work with a real need. Here we never create shallow developments. Always the ideation process, it has to be focused on improve the life of the people. It's very important to think not as a designer, think as the user, how the user is going to use this, why he's going to use. The projects that fail are because they don't think of the user. They only think, oh, okay, I will use this, my friends will use this. If you think like that, you're gonna fail in the process. If you want to succeed in the process and in the creation, you have to think as a user. That's why it's so important the empathy stage of the design thinking methodology, because allow you to think as the user. So any solution, any idea, any proposal that you have, it has to be focused always in the user and in the needs of that user. So if you are going to create something, always remember improve the life of the person, work a real need, and it has to be appropriate for the user and the community. As a conclusion, we can say that at the end of the third stage of the project with the design thinking methodology, will be generate different alternatives to the problem that is being worked on and make up the project or business model that is being developed. The more alternatives you create or conceive, the greater the possibilities are of create a solution relevant to the problem that is being worked on. The key in the development of this phase is to think of multiple alternatives and be very creative with the solution. One of the things that people misunderstand is that when they are ideating, they only make one solution. You have to create many, and then you have to prototype it, and then you have to test it. Otherwise, you will be just married with the first thing that you know. That probably will not work. It is very important to think and focus on that position if you want to make that your process is successful. The next period that we have is the stage 4, which is prototype. It's very important because all the ideas that we create here, they have to become a prototype and then they'll have to be tested. So that is also very important in the process of the design thinking methodology. Thank you very much. I hope this video helped you a lot with the development that you are making. Please follow our channel Design Thinking 24/7. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Every day we have a special content just for our social media network. Remember, on Monday we have a new video in Spanish, on Thursday a new video in English. Thank you to all of you. We are the #1 channel in design thinking in the whole YouTube world. Thank you so much and we'll see you next time.